Hit subscribe, smash like, and comment below if you think you could survive the world we're about to reveal, because inside these walls, power and fear rule, and nothing is what it seems. You won't believe what investigators just uncovered in one of America's deadliest prisons. It all started in a maximum security facility deep in the heart of Texas. Alarms screamed through the night as guards discovered 5 inmates missing from their cells. The mess hall was a scene of chaos, furniture overturned, walls smeared with cryptic warnings. The Fangs watch everything. At first, it looked like a riot, but Detective Michael Reyes knew better. The pattern was too precise, the timing too calculated. This wasn't chaos, this was a message. 2 names quickly stood out from the intel: Marco the Viper Santini, a notoriously brutal enforcer, and Julian Silence Cortez, a ghost-like strategist who never drew attention yet orchestrated almost every major incident. Together, they led a network known as the Iron Fangs, a gang whose influence stretched far beyond the prison walls, controlling everything from the inside out. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered hidden messages everywhere carved into furniture, tucked inside library books, and whispered in a coded language that was nearly impossible to break. Each message carried commands or threats, revealing an intelligence and patience that terrified even the most seasoned corrections officers. Then came the chilling discovery: a hidden room concealed behind a false wall in the laundry facility. Inside, they found a thick ledger meticulously mapping out decades of operations, staged fights, manipulated prisoner transfers, and incidents planned with surgical precision. This was the gang's playbook. At the bottom of one page, a single warning was written in bold handwriting: control is power. Fear is currency, trust no one. But the most shocking revelation was yet to come. By morning, the ledger had vanished, and the false wall was perfectly resealed. Someone had been watching the investigators all along, proving the Iron Fangs could strike, even when they were under direct scrutiny. Just before it disappeared, Reyes saw the final entry, a cryptic warning from an unknown inmate called the Ghost. It read, "The game has begun. Whoever thinks they are in control will pay first." The investigation had only just scratched the surface, and the real nightmare was far from over. What do you think the Ghost's next move will be? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more unbelievable true crime stories. Thanks for watching. The disappearance of the ledger started a chain reaction that prison officials desperately tried to contain. But their silence only fueled the fire. Within 48 hours, 2 guards assigned to the Iron Fangs housing unit went off the grid. One just resigned, no explanation given. The other, he vanished completely. His car was discovered at a truck stop miles from the prison. Keys still in the ignition, but his security badge was gone. Detective Reyes knew exactly what that meant. This wasn't just payback. This was about control. As the investigation widened, Reyes' team found the same disturbing patterns in prisons across Arizona, California, and even the Midwest. Sudden lockdowns, inmates being transferred for no good reason, informants suddenly changing their stories overnight. It was almost like a curse. Every time the Iron Fangs were mentioned in an internal email, something went wrong. Phones would glitch, files would get corrupted, witnesses would back out. It felt less like a street gang and more like a ghost in the machine, a decentralized network that was always one step ahead. Then, the first crack appeared from within. Julian Silence Cortez, the gang's feared strategist, was abruptly thrown into administrative segregation. The official story was that it was for his own protection. The unofficial story: someone had tipped off investigators that Cortez was no longer loyal. A confidential source claimed Cortez had been communicating with someone outside the gang's command structure. It wasn't law enforcement, it was someone far more dangerous. Someone known only by a name that was already casting a long shadow over the case: the Ghost. Finally, Reyes got a break. His team recovered a partially corrupted backup image of the missing ledger from an old server. Most of it was garbage, but one small section was perfectly clear. It wasn't a list of crimes or drug deals. It was a schedule, a detailed calendar of inmate transfers, medical appointments, and court dates. It mapped out the movements of key inmates and staff for months in advance. The Iron Fangs weren't just reacting to the system, they were predicting its every move. Just as the pressure was reaching its peak, an eerie calm fell over the prison. The violence stopped. No more fights, no threats, no secret messages. To the administrators, it looked like their policies were finally working. But to Reyes, it was a terrifying warning. Gangs don't just go quiet. Not unless they're planning something big. His worst fears were confirmed when a corrections captain admitted, completely off the record, that a sealed transport order had been approved under his name, an order he never signed. The order was for a single inmate transfer. There was no photo, no criminal history, just a simple designation where the name should have been. G17, the ghost. Before Reyes could even make a move, the transfer was executed. The inmate was swallowed by the system, rerouted through a maze of private contractors and temporary holding facilities designed to be untraceable. By the time federal authorities were brought in, it was already too late. Whatever the ghost was planning, the first move had been made. The final, chilling blow came that same night. Julian Cortez was found unconscious in his solitary cell, alive but just barely. Scratched into the metal bed frame beside him was a single, calm, and deliberate line. Loyalty ends, control remains. Staring at those words, Reyes understood the horrifying truth. The Iron Fangs were never the real threat. They were just the opening act, a test run. And now, the true architect of this chaos was finally stepping out of the shadows. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories that uncover the hidden workings of the world, make sure to subscribe. When federal oversight finally arrived, the damage was already done, woven into the very fabric of the system. Special Agent Reyes stood in the operations room, staring at a wall of timelines that made absolutely no sense. Transfers that should have taken weeks were completed overnight. Clearance codes were approved by supervisors who swore on their careers they never logged in. It became clear the prison system hadn't been breached by force. It had been persuaded. It had been sweet-talked into chaos. The first real breakthrough came from the most unlikely place imaginable. A retired records clerk, brought back to audit decades-old paper archives, noticed a strange, recurring pattern. Every major prison gang incident over the last 25 years, from riots to assassinations, shared a single, almost invisible administrative fingerprint. The same outdated classification protocol, quietly reactivated just long enough to move one specific person, then immediately buried again. This protocol had an old nickname among veteran staff, one that was almost forgotten. They used to call it the Ghost Route. That's when Reyes finally understood. The Ghost wasn't an inmate climbing the ladder of power. He wasn't a gang leader. He was the constant. While gangs like the infamous Iron Fangs fought and bled for territory and survival, the Ghost remained untouched, positioning himself above the fray, using each group as a pawn against the next. He didn't need loyalty from anyone. He just needed access. And the prison system, with its thousands of loopholes and blind spots, had given it to him, one forgotten rule at a time. A task force was scrambled to track the last known movement tied to the Ghost Route. It led them to a private medical transport authorized for an inmate who, on paper, did not exist. The driver was found days later, physically unharmed but completely shaken. He claimed he never once saw his passenger's face. All the surveillance footage showed was a blurred silhouette calmly exiting the vehicle, already wearing a set of official staff credentials. From that moment on, the Ghost no longer needed to hide behind bars. He was on the outside. The final confirmation of his power came just a few weeks later. A perfectly coordinated sweep dismantled what was left of the Iron Fangs. Their leadership was isolated, Their communications were severed, and their influence was stripped away almost overnight. It should have felt like a massive victory for law enforcement. But instead, Reyes noticed something deeply chilling. In every single facility where the gang had collapsed and knew quieter order took its place, there were fewer fights, fewer incident reports. It was too calm, as if someone else had simply stepped in and assumed control. Then, Reyes received an unmarked envelope at his office. Inside was a single sheet of paper and an old, faded prison photograph. The photo showed a group of inmates from decades ago. One face had been carefully circled in red ink. Beneath it, a handwritten note read, "You were never chasing gangs. You were chasing noise." And at the very bottom of the page, one final, terrifying line. "Systems don't fall to violence. They fall to people who understand them." The case was officially closed months later, filed away as a successful dismantling of organized prison gangs. A win, but Reyes never believed that ending. He knew the truth. Somewhere, deep within the structure he once trusted, the ghost was still moving freely, completely unseen, unchallenged, shaping outcomes without ever being named. And that is the most dangerous truth of all. Not that our prisons hold violent men, but that the most powerful criminal in the entire system may no longer be an inmate at all. If this story has stayed with you, I need you to understand this wasn't an ending. It was a warning, and the next chapter of this nightmare is already waiting for you. Subscribe to this channel, and I'll show you just how deep this really goes.